You're looking live at Las Vegas this hour. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to speak at an event at the Red Rock Casino. Trump has been touting his government's recent measures to address American concerns around affordability. Inflation and the rising costs are closely tied with his war in Iran, as well as ongoing trade disputes ahead of November's midterm elections. Those, of course, are drawing nearer. The CBC's Chris Reyes is joining us with more on this story. She is in New York. Chris, we heard earlier from the president when he discussed the Michigan primary elections. What did he have to say about that race?
That's right. Good afternoon, Crystal. So we know that Michigan will be a hotly contested race in November. Michigan is a swing state that went for Trump, then Biden, then Trump again in successive elections. This is a state with a huge Arab and Muslim population, and so the war in Gaza has been a deciding factor at the polls, with El-Sayed winning against Haley Stevens, someone who's considered to be an establishment Democrat, someone who was backed by a big-name Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer. It says something about this rising, progressive, left-leaning, even socialist wave within the Democratic Party. And I start with that because that is really the context in which President Trump is reacting on social media, accusing El-Sayed of being a communist, of hating Jews and Israel. And then Trump essentially saying that this is good for Republicans, his victory, because it's indicative of where the party is going on the political spectrum. Here's how El-Sayed has responded to such criticism.
They understand that the only way that they think they can win is to drag us into the mud, to believe the worst about each other, to believe that what divides us is bigger than what unites us.
So what does this victory mean for Democrats moving forward? Well, it'll make an impact on how they run their campaigns in the midterms, and then further down the line, Crystal, how they choose their next Democratic presidential candidate.
And Chris, we know that the U.S. president is set to speak shortly about the economy. What do we know about his remarks?
Yeah, we are watching that podium as we speak. President Trump is in Nevada talking up his economic policies. And again, Nevada, Crystal, is a swing state. It went for Trump in 2024, but for Biden and Clinton in the previous two elections. And what we've seen from Trump recently is what appears to be this deliberate return to talking about the economy and affordability and jobs, as he has also been pulled away by the war in Iran, the war in Gaza, and other international conflicts. So this is a rally that he's attending in Nevada. So that's his signature platform, as we know. He's expected to talk up his no tax on tips policy, his no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And according to a White House spokesperson, Trump is expected to remind Nevadans that Trump campaigned on helping working families. And again, this tells you that the midterms could be decided based on which party can best convince Americans that they have their wallets in mind when governing, and not what's happening in other parts of the world.
CBC's Chris Reyes following it all for us from New York. Thanks so much, Chris.